By this point, I would have already announced that I am moving, and I have a lot of books, okay? I've got a lot of TBR. I think over the last year where I was coincidentally doing TBR takedown and not necessarily planning on moving, but making TBR progress nonetheless, I've made a pretty big dent. However, there are a couple of series and a couple bigger items on my shelves that I feel as if this week would be a really great time to make a little dibble dabble and to hopefully get some books off of my TBR so I don't have to drag them all over Timbuktu, because they're only going to be moving in the first place. I also am not necessarily staying in the place that I will be moving after, so I will be moving twice, which will be so fun. However, I figured that this would be a really good week to start making some progress into some series that have been on my TBR for a while. We're going to be starting with the Kingdom of Copper, which is book 2 in the David Bad trilogy. I'm gonna be so for real. I DNF'd the Kingdom of Copper. I gave City of Brass 3 stars. I liked it enough to want to continue into book 2, but here's the thing, I waited too long. And then by the time I picked up book 2, I was kind of like, okay. And I felt like I actually remembered the plot really well, but I just didn't have the same feelings towards the characters and towards like interest level, I guess, in general, that made me really want to continue the book. And honestly, because there are so many books on my TBR that I probably need to get through, I just felt like I don't know. I just put the book down, had other things happening, and then I just didn't have any interest to pick it back up. So, I think we're going to do the brave and bold decision to actually unhaul this series, okay? I know that they just redid. Some of the covers are coming out with collector's editions and yada, yada, yada. If I want to circle back to the series later, library A or B, I can always rebuy them then. However, that's a whole 3 books I cannot move, and I just think that in my current moment, is how we're going to go. However, it is time to actually begin packing the bookshelves and ideally get the books moved out of here today, being Saturday. So what I figured that I could do while I pack some things is kind of do a sort of try a chapter situation. But I will be moving around, not using my eyeballs. I will have some ears available though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go sample audiobooks for quite a few books that I have series of. Things like City We Became. We've got the Bone Shard Daughter. I'm looking at the bookshelves in here and all of the series are in the living room actually. We could listen to like The Magicians, and I've already technically read Discovery of Witches, but I would like to circle back to those. Let's go see what we have in the living room at the moment, shall we? There are just a lot of things that I need to just generally gauge my interest level in. So I think this will be good to, kind of see, like, am I interested? Do I want to move these? Do I want to keep these? Do I want to, I'm going to have to move them out of my house somehow, but do I then want to also bring them back into the new house? I don't know. What's funny is that I've actually done such crazy progress on reading through some of the series that I'm like, I don't actually have that many series like I was kind of thinking I might, but there's definitely some big progress we can make here. However, while we do that, there are also some books that I definitely know that I'm getting rid of. So I figured that this vlog could just turn into not only try a chapter, but also a giant unhaul, which is desperately, unfortunately needed, especially because I had done an unhaul a couple of months ago and I just like went through my bookshelves and just started pulling things out. Then those books never left my house, and unfortunately it's time for them to leave my house. So now I just have a lot of work to do, and I did it to myself. What can I can't blame anyone else, unfortunately. Also, if you're wondering why we're back on the iPhone footage, my camera's in the shop, which is really unfortunate for me. But what is actually fortunate is that I did have the Geek Squad protection, so I just took it to Best Buy and said, fix my problems, thank you so much. So it could have been significantly worse. So I figure while we're looking here, we could go through some of these books here that I will be getting rid of. And honestly, like 90% of this shelf is gonna go. It's incredible. Like, I feel very excited about the progress that could potentially happen here. I hope you can see what's happening because I'm just going to keep blabbing here. Mistborn. I think I'm going to keep it, and I think I'm going to keep it just because I think that the hardcovers are so beautiful, though I did definitely DNF The Well of Ascension a couple years ago. I was not in the right headspace when I listened to it. Do I think that I could return to the series and like it better? Maybe. Do I think I'm going to like it? No. So part of me feels like I should just get rid of them, but I'm also like, kind of wanted to keep them, and I think that's just because the TV show adaptation situation is coming out soon. So let me debate on that. I think my other Brandon Sandersons I want to keep because Arcanum Unbounded has a copy of The Emperor's Soul, which was my freaking favorite novella, like ever. It is so good. And it's in there. I don't have it separately, so there's that. Warbreaker, I gave 3 stars. Elantris, I haven't read yet, but I would like to. So we're just gonna keep that little collection up there for now. And then we've got in here, you guys know I talked about, I think during Bookmas that I was unhauling my Magnolia Park series, and then I didn't get rid of them. I have a friend that they're going to, and then I just haven't given them to her yet, so those need to go. Then we've got Binding 13 through Redeeming 6. The last 2 books are going to go to Bailey Nicole Reads, and then the rest of these, I don't know, do I put them on Pango? I feel like they're special editions, and I don't want to just take them to Second and Charles, which is why I still have them, because I didn't figure that out last time. Everything's fine. We've got the Young Elites, which is a Marie Lu that I read on audio a while ago, and I had so much fun listening to it, but I think it's time for these to go. We've got a Colleen Hoover that I thought I might like, because I really liked Verity. I'm not reading it. Lucy Score can go. I feel like I want to keep these initial. American Roommate Experiment can go. Red, White, and Royal Blue can go. Like, I read this and I liked it. I just don't think it really stuck around for me very much. And, like, I'm not going to reread it, so why do I keep it? Love Redesigned, I initially was going to get rid of, and now I kind of want to keep it to be so for real. And Addicted to You, I just don't think I'm going to like it. The Deal, I almost want to keep just because of the TV adaptation, and I think I don't know, like, I might like to read it, but also it's on KU, and, like, do I need to read it? No. Also, I'm so hot. I need to take the sweatshirt off immediately. Okay. We're getting hot in here, all right? It's time to get down to business. We have got some more Marie Lu Legend YA, which I really love that series, and I don't think I ever finished it, but this was like a junior high series that I think can go. Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I think can go. I didn't ever continue that series. And then basically everything in here, Twisted Love, I hated Twisted Love. I will not continue that series. We've got some special editions of Bloodmarked and Legendborn. I don't necessarily want to keep 2 hardbacks for books that I still haven't read, that I don't necessarily have very much interest in reading, and books that I know that people would love to have like an Owl Crate edition of, because the editions are really cool. Like, I bought them because the editions were cool, not necessarily because I was interested in a King Arthur Knights of the Round Table situation. So those are going to go. And then down here at the bottom, we have just random books that I just needed to pull from other places to fill out the shelf, because the shelf was empty for staging purposes. So that's kind of a lot of what's happening down here. And then we've got some of my roommate's books that can be stacked up and left for her. I'm realizing how much work there is here, but it's fun. Like, I would rather sit here and pack books and complain about books than like clothes or like kitchen stuff or something, and that's already done. So we're at the fun part, and I'm jazzed about. However, we're at the point where there's basically nothing to it but to get to it. So I'm going to get the cardboard boxes out of my car. I'm going to start taping those up, and then I will figure out how to pack those, and then I'm going to start sampling some audiobooks. And I think the first audiobook that I want to sample is going to be The Bone Shard Daughter. I've heard nothing but fabulous things about the series, so about the whole series, mostly because whenever I went to Barnes & Noble, they just happened to have book 3 out before it was actually available, and I was like, oh, look at me buying an early copy. I would love to read this, and then I didn't. So that's on me. That's my bad. Though I'm kind of feeling like I'm in a ruthless mood, and a lot of things here can go to be so for real. So I'm avoiding like the mother loving plague. All right, bubble wrap in hand. I think I'm actually going to start on the books that I know that I'm going to keep, such as these. And I think doing this in here first is going to give me like the reminder of like, oh yeah, these are the books that I love and the books that I really want to take with me. And then everything else after that, if I get bored and I'm tired, like, darn the luck it goes, which is kind of toxic of me, but oops. There's a very, very stinking large part of me that is a little sad to be packing up my bookshelves, but I have to keep reminding myself, like, it's the books and the shelves that I love. And the shelves are coming with me, baby. I actually really, really heavily thought about not bringing the bookshelves with me, selling these so I wouldn't have to move them mostly, and then getting the brown billies. And then I just, we're here. Also, I definitely have like a nice tape gun at home, and then I forgot it because I had to mail off my bullet journal the other day, and then used it to mail off my bullet journal, and then forgot to put it back in my car. Oh well. box done. One box bottom done, I should say. I think I'm just going to line the bottoms of these boxes, and then for my like special ones, I'll actually wrap those. And then honestly, for everything else, if the sides of the boxes are wrapped, it's all right. It's the way that 2.5 minute little sample made me very intrigued, and then I was like, wait, it's over, but I want more info. So that to me is like guaranteed have to keep. What's going to be interesting about this little experiment, if you will, is just the mere like, am I interested or not? And that's all I get. I don't get any outside opinion. I don't get any reviews. I don't get any like, I don't know, like recommendations from anyone other than just the sampling. And then also gives me an idea of like, am I going to want to listen to the audiobook for that book? Is there a specific way you're supposed to wrap books? Because like side of the bubble wrap you're supposed to wrap? Don't know. Oops, this is not ripping evenly for me. I do, upon first impression, quite like the female narrator, but I also have heard good things about the audiobook in general, which again, that kind of goes against the point of me not hearing anything about a book and just giving it my actual first impression. We are introduced to a girl. I don't even think we heard her name, but like, do I need to know her name? Not really. She is the heir to a throne that has what is called bone shard magic. We don't know what that means. Sounds really freaking cool, but she is basically competing to have the throne over her foster brother, half brother, foster brother, I don't know, but her father has yet to teach her magic, and her father was asking her like, what are her fears? And I'm intrigued to see, why is the king wanting to know what she's afraid of? Are we going to have those fears used against her? Has he been mistreating her? Do I need to be on alert? Do I need to be calling the police? Okay. So I think that as a very first intro to the story makes me intrigued. Like, why, like, what is her story? What's going on here? Why does she have this kind of weird relationship with her father? What's up with this magic? Like, it's literally called bone shard magic. She wants to learn how to use it. And I also really love when a magic system is revealed to you as someone is learning how to use it. There's kind of a balance there because you want this person to be proficient enough at the magic that doesn't necessarily come in like 2 minutes of having the magic. So, you know, the simple intro makes me a lot more intrigued to want to move those books. So, gold star for us. What I'm now thinking I might do is just keep a box of the like really scary important ones. Not necessarily keep like all of my fourth wing ones. Like my paperbacks are cool, but they're not like first print runs. So I kind of feel like I'm going to separate those out just so that way I have one box that is my, I've got like 1 or 2 boxes that have to be babied, and then everything else I can be a little less precious about. Gold star for peeling this bubble wrap. It's going to be very apparent to me how dusty everything is, even though I literally just dusted the shelves, but like, welcome to Lubbock. So, Bone Shard Daughter and the whole series, keep. City We Became will be our next victim of question. Okay, City We Became, I am interested in the story, okay? I'm not interested in the narrator, though. And as someone who reads a lot of audiobooks, that's an interesting thought to see if I'm ever going to actually get to this book. I do want to keep it, though. We're like 0 for 0 at this point. I don't love narrators that are like real southern sounding to give more extra character to the story. And maybe that's just because I am a southern woman myself and I don't like to listen to other people try to be southern accented in an exaggerated audiobook form. So I'm gonna not listen to that on audio. However, I feel like it's very like New York City gritty. I don't understand the fantasy portions of it, but it really goes deep into the world building of New York City. And like I feel like leading New York City wise, first of all, is really interesting. Now I'm like talking New York City wise because I just put on the accent and now it's not gonna get off of me. Also, as I move back home to my parents that talk exactly like this, y'all are gonna start hearing a lot more Southern accents, like on purpose, on accident, and I'm not even gonna know. Anyways, like how do I stop? I don't know how to stop. I'm gonna keep it. Do I know that I'm gonna actually pick it up anytime soon? Not necessarily, but I'm interested enough to want to keep it. Okay. However, I'm realizing that how I'm stacking these books in this box is not exactly efficient because if I stack them that way, there's extra room in there, but I can't stack a second row on top of it. So I'm wondering if I can stack a second row of paperbacks on top of this maybe, or if I'm just SOL. So TBD. As far as our next book that we're going to sample, I think we're going to stay here in the office. I'm feeling called to a little Bristol Keats sample. I loved Mary E. Pearson's YA stuff, and I want to know what her adult stuff is. So we're going to sample that. No, I don't want another recommendation audible. Stop it. Stop playing. As it plays the sequel to this book. Okay, so that was actually like really, really interesting. Okay, we have our female main character, Bristol. She's got a little sister. She's basically, we're already bringing up the concept of like what home is, what home means. Oddly timely, might I say. However, she one of the hardest moves I've ever done. Not only is it because I'm moving a whole house like an hour and a half away, but I'm moving it into a space that's not empty. And not only am I having to like clear out, like there's a desk in the back bedroom. I have to take out the desk before I can put in my desk. But in order to do that, I have to clear out the desk first so it can go either into storage or like wherever it is. So I'm not only like cleaning and organizing old stuff, but I'm also like not only am I moving the old stuff to clear it out, but I'm also cleaning and organizing stuff. So I just feel like this has been a really busy move, but I also underestimated the fact that I was moving back in with my family and I really missed having family time. And so if there was an opportunity to like sit and chat with my sister, I'm gonna sit and chat with my sister and not go read. If we're having dinner and we're just like hanging out chatting after dinner, I'm gonna sit there and like sit and chat with my parents after dinner. If my mom's watching some random reality TV show, I might just go sneak in and catch a couple episodes. Like the reading and solo time has not been the focus, which I think is really healthy to recognize. Like reading's always going to be there. Sometimes it's about like being in the moment more so than keeping up with your reading goal. So thank you for your patience as I had took like 2 weeks off. I posted a video last week. I'm not posting a video probably right now because I don't have one edited and I'm packing. So uploads have been a little sparse, but just trust and believe they will get back to normal because I need to read. I love to read. I'm feeling so like, wait, I love to read right now, just sampling all these books and like touching and looking at all my books. I'm never going to stop reading, though I read one book in March. The whole reason that I discussed this here was because I was feeling so all over the place. I was like, wait a minute, what if I just picked up a cutie little reread? What if I just picked up Chestnut Springs again? Because my mom actually was picking it up. I was teasing her because she wanted to get back into reading. And I was like, well, you need to go back and finish your cowboy romance series. So she went and read Reckless and is now reading Hopeless and was telling me about it. And I was like, wait, I want to reread it. So I did pick up and read half of Flawless. Flawless is not the best book of the series. It's really not. It's fun, but Flawless is really just an introduction to the rest of the series. And while I do enjoy the series, that book in and of itself is just not, I don't know, it's not my favorite. Basically, is like not having a great time. She's got a store, but she broke. And I literally listened to that 2 seconds ago, and I can't remember if it was a light or a water bill. But like something happened in the house, and she was like, dang, I can't afford another plumber. Like I can't afford another light problem. Like very adulthood core. Okay. I am interested. I'm also interested in the audiobook because I do like that female narrator. I don't know. It doesn't sound to me like there is a male narrator. I did like the intro to that and I like the female narrator. So we got a book that we're going to keep. Is this actually a good method of trying to find books that I want to get rid of? Maybe not. Okay, let's go for the Magician. That is wedged in there so questionably. Okay, so that was interesting. I'm keeping it. The Magicians opens up with kind of this very clearly defined, maybe not necessarily found family, but they were kind of formed family, right? Like these people have been going to school for a very long time and they just kind of like, because they were together for so long, obviously they're gonna be friends. Then we have these characters are just like casually doing little magic tricks that they're thinking that nobody's going to notice. And I assume nobody's going to notice these little magic tricks. However, watching them like be subtle about things that are not very subtle, I think is going to be entertaining. But then also this idea of magic like right under your nose and being in the city urban setting, I think I'm going to love it. So yet another keep. I'm thinking that I might need to actually like start borrowing these books from the library and just like surely reading a full chapter and not just a true sample, because I'm interested more than I am not. And also I haven't read a book in like a freaking month. So maybe I'm just like, wow, I like reading again. Like, welcome back, Bailey. You don't know. I could do my Ashes of Thasmar. I keep probably like the Vows of Thasmar. This series I got the UK like international print edition. They're not in the best condition given that I shipped them from the UK, and now I'm looking at them and I'm like, are these actually the precious ones? I don't think so. I could go with my Gold Rush Ranch indie covers. Let's do these maybe. I think these would probably be good to fill up the side of this. I did already take my Indie Chestnut Springs home, and that is because I decided to, like, the concept of reading in March not happening, which made me really sad because March is Ramathon, which is one of my favorite readathon months, and I have so much fun reading during that month. And then this year, nary a word was to be had. And I think I was just, like, really trying to plan out all of these things, because this honestly has been one of the hardest moves I've ever done. And not only is it because I'm moving a whole house like an hour and a half away, but I'm moving it into a space that's not empty. And not only am I having to like clear out, like there's a desk in the back bedroom. I have to take out the desk before I can put in my desk. But in order to do that, I have to clear out the desk first so it can go either into storage or like wherever it is. So I'm not only like cleaning and organizing old stuff, but I'm also like, not only am I moving the old stuff to clear it out, but I'm also cleaning and organizing stuff. So I just feel like this has been a really busy move. But I also underestimated the fact that I was moving back in with my family, and I really missed having family time. And so if there was an opportunity to like sit and chat with my sister, I'm going to sit and chat with my sister and not go read. If we're having dinner and we're just like hanging out chatting after dinner, I'm going to sit there and like sit and chat with my parents after dinner. If my mom's watching some random reality TV show, I might just go sneak in and catch a couple episodes. Like, the reading and solo time has not been the focus, which I think is really healthy to recognize. Like, reading's always going to be there. Sometimes it's about like being in the moment more so than keeping up with your reading goal. So thank you for your patience as I had took like 2 weeks off. I posted a video last week. I'm not posting a video probably right now because I don't have one edited and I'm packing. So uploads have been a little sparse, but just trust and believe they will get back to normal because I need to read. I love to read. I'm feeling so like, wait, I love to read right now, just sampling all these books and like touching and looking at all my books. I'm never going to stop reading, though. I read one book in March. The whole reason that I discussed this here was because I was feeling so all over the place. I was like, wait a minute, what if I just picked up a cutie little reread? What if I just picked up Chestnut Springs again? Because my mom actually was picking it up. I was teasing her because she wanted to get back into reading. And I was like, well, you need to go back and finish your Cowboy Romance series. So she went and read Reckless and is now reading Hopeless and was telling me about it. I was like, wait, I want to reread it. So I did pick up and read half of Flawless. Flawless is not the best book in the series. It's really not. It's fun, but Flawless is really just an introduction to the rest of the series. And while I do enjoy the series, that book in and of itself is just not, I don't know, it's not my favorite. I got to the halfway mark and then I was like, okay. Like, I think the itch has been scratched. I want to get to Heartless now. So I do think I'm going to continue listening. The other thing, I listened to the audiobook, and the audiobook isn't necessarily like all that great. So I do think I'm going to continue listening to that. But then once I'm done with it, I am probably going to, I really want to read Heartless now. I don't know. But I ended up stopping reading that, and then I read The Second Death of Locke, which I don't really have a place to talk about my feelings about this book. So I guess we're including that in this vlog right now. I knew I was going to really, really, really love that book. I just didn't understand how much I was going to. And I think had I read it in a time when my brain was really in a reading mode, I would have lost my ever-loving mind. And I still lost my ever-loving mind. Maybe a little bit more casually, but like, wow. So that was a 5-star. Okay. We have the most amount of slow burn, angst, tension, longing. These two people are in this war and they know everything about each other. They were childhood friends, and I didn't even, like, I wasn't even bothered by that because we get some of their like childhood growing up, but what's more important to the story is the plot and then their current longing for each other. We're not like relying on this past setup to do all of the tension. The tension is in the moment. Like they'll be after battle and they'll be like sewing each other up, and she's like, man, I wish his hands were on me more often. And like the amount of holding herself back because we're in their female main character's head that she had to do was incredible. And watching her actively long for this person and seeing how they in this world are really just a perfect fit for each other was so incredibly good. I have never read a book that has that much yearning, and I love yearning. Like, you guys, Mariana Zapata is one of my favorite authors because she does a lot of books with yearning. I've never read a book with that much yearning in a fantasy setting, and the yearning begins from the get-go, so it's even more angsty than a Mariana Zapata. And I was like, what is happening here? And the fact that it technically is a standalone really was so perfect for me to read at this time, because there is no promises that if I pick up book 1, I'm going to pick up book 2 right now. So I just think that it was the perfect time to read that book. While it wasn't necessarily the perfect time because my brain was all over the place a little bit, but like it was the perfect time. So I really enjoyed the book. I'm giving it 5 stars. And Bovolino. I'm ready for that new Bovolino release. Like, I just had such a good time with it. And it's a style of book that I know I like. So I'm really, really curious to see, like, is it the author that I liked? Is it the writing style? Is it that story I liked? Is another book by the same author going to do the same thing for me? I don't know, but the new release is coming sooner rather than later. So I'm very curious to see. However, we have one box packed up. And I think at this point, what I need to do is just make a lot of progress really quickly. And I think at this current moment, I really want to listen to Shield of Sparrows, because book 2 actually comes out on Tuesday. And I would really like to read that book before book 2 comes out, and then maybe participate back in the hype and maybe pretend that like I'm a girl who reads sometimes. But I got the graphic audio in a buy 2 for 1 credit a couple days ago, along with Second Death of Locke. So I think while I still just got it, I'm going to start the graphic audio, and I'm going to run around, pack some books, and then whenever we get into the bookshelf in there, we will start sampling again. Okay, wait a minute. I have to show you guys. I love looking when I annotate books. The beginning, like, yeah, whatever. Having a good time, right? The ending, I am absolutely stacking the tabs. Like, just looking at this makes me want to. Oh, and I did leave some sticky notes. I started reading this book right as the covers were switching over. I didn't want to mark up my pretty OG covers, so I put in sticky notes for certain things. But I would love to take my new set over there and annotate the shiz out of them. But that would require that I reread the whole series. I don't know that I want to do that necessarily, because I feel like the beginning of the series is not my favorite. And I've already reread them. Do I really need to reread them again? I don't think so. But maybe I would. Maybe I'll just transfer the annotations and then sucker myself into reading it again. Oops. like everything is just disappearing. We have made some progress on some really big things. So I ran out of my smaller Walmart boxes and I decided to go back to Sam's and get the bigger totes just because it'll be easier to strap down in the trailer when we have these big totes as opposed to the cardboard boxes. I'm fearing now that I have too many cardboard boxes to fit onto the trailer and those are all gonna have to go in my car, but I was also supposed to put my closet in my car and now, it's fine. However, I have managed to get this bookshelf completely unstacked. Minus the top shelf, which I'm gonna need a stepladder for, and I feel like I'm gonna have to get that. I don't know why I didn't just do that. I'm now realizing that. Also, okay, the bottom shelves down here that I have that I can show you momentarily. I'm getting rid of all of these. Oh, hey there. Yeah, all of those. Most of these down here were previously decluttered, and then I just didn't actually get them out of my house. So, this is the stack I was talking about of things that needed to go but didn't go yet. So, for tax, let's talk about all the books that I'm going to be unhauling from the shelves back here. Let's go this way starting first. You guys know I read The Half King. Hated it. Starling House, which I actually got from a friend, and I have actually no intentions on reading. Okay, The Bite. We have to talk about this for a split second. This was originally a Wattpad book, and this is one of my favorite books on Wattpad. Like, I became a reader because of this book. Not really, but low-key, it was so freaking good. Now I say this, she has to come with me. It's a like werewolf, very found family telling. However, it did get traditionally published, and from what I've heard, the edits are not, apparently the edits make the book not as good. So I do fear that if I reread that book in physical form, I'm not gonna like it as much, but honestly, like, what a time. Anyways, Butcher and Blackbird, I just don't foresee myself getting back to the series, and I don't know. I feel like it's criminal to get rid of that when I liked it so much and I also like Lights Out so much, but I just don't feel like I want to continue the series. And if I don't want to continue the series, maybe I debate on that for a second. Okay, we've got a random copy of The Girl on the Train. We've got the OG Bridge Kingdom. I got through partway of book 2 and I ended up DNFing it, and I don't need it. Then we have, okay, A Dawn of Onyx and A Promise of Peridot. I have the indie edition of A Dawn of Onyx as well. I liked these books when I read them a lot, and then I just waited, and I'm gonna be so for real, when I finished Promise of Peridot, I marked it as done. I had like 4 more pages left to read it, and I was like, oh, I'll go back and read those 4 pages. And then a day later, I had no interest in going back and reading those 4 pages, so I technically speaking, I finished Promise of Peridot, but like also I kind of DNF'd it. I just wasn't all that super connected to the characters, and while I had fun with it, it wasn't just a book that I just really needed to see out the series with, and I had fun, but it wasn't anything stayed out that I really need to keep around, and or go back and finish. And that appears to be everything on this little shelf. And then scooching back here, we have quite a collection down here, starting with Kingdom of Copper. We've already discussed it. Alone with You in the Ether, I actually have the indie version of this, and if I want to read this, and if I end up loving it, I can rebuy the trad version. I just don't foresee myself reading it necessarily. Mountains Made of Glass, I got this for like $5 on an Amazon sale one time. I'm never going to read it. Then we have A River Enchanted and Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. Both of these are actually signed and personalized. I liked A River Enchanted, but it's just a lot slower and more prosy than I typically like, so I just never picked up a Fire Endless, and I don't imagine I will. Then we've got Bewitched and Bespelled. I liked Bewitched. I listened to the audiobook, and I found myself zoning out at one part, but then it got really interesting, and I never went back to figure out like the part that I zoned out on, because I was too busy like, what's happening now? And then I realized that I didn't actually know what was happening at all, so when I read this book, I kind of did myself a disservice. However, if I do want to go reread these books, they just came out with way prettier covers, like infinitely prettier than these covers. So I do fear that I would replace my copies if I wanted to anyways. Better than the movies. I'm just not a YA girly. Kind of same thing with What the River Knows. Icebreaker, if I'm gonna read a contemporary romance, it's not gonna be that. Heartless Hunter, I liked it. Again, I speed listened to this for a book club and like 3 times speed listened to it. I liked it, but I just didn't like find that because I read it so quickly, it just didn't really stick around. And so then I never read book 2. Powerless, I read book 1 and then Throttled, which I read in Indiana. Like I'm an F1 girly, right? For some reason an F1 romance just wasn't calling to me. And I didn't like it, like, at all. We have Only When It's Us. We've got 7 Years Slipped. I read this, I liked it enough, but it just didn't really stick around crazy much for me. Normal People, I've had this copy for far too long, and I'm not gonna get to it. And then all of my Stephanie Garber books that I just don't foresee myself needing. Gothic Hannah. Books that I have already unhauled on this channel, and then I didn't actually get rid of them. Why did I think that was going to be a good idea? I don't know. I was low-key really confident in getting rid of the Fireborn trilogy, but I feel like because like I read book 1 and then I never circled back to book 2, but now I'm like I can't get rid of it. I can't do it. I can be pretty ruthless with getting rid of some stuff. Not that. Oh, in case you're asking, yes, this pile's infinitely bigger than I thought it was going to be. I feel like I'm getting literally everything that I own. Okay. All right. Do I want to get rid of any of these things? No. I kind of want to keep Verity just because I did really like the book, actually. The Only Good Indians, this can go. I did not like that. Do I get rid of this copy of The Way of Kings? Like, it's really cool, but it's literally just it's not even part 1, it's part 2. Arch Conspirator, I'm gonna keep it. Uprooted, I just, maybe this is a book I can sample in a minute. We're keeping all of these. All of those are going to be kept. My Hunger Games are definitely keeping. Gracie, I'm going to keep because I still think that sounds fun. All the Emily Henrys that I've never read that I'm probably going to hate once I actually read them. Am I going to keep them? Yes, absolutely. Poppy War Bone. Oh, the Bone Season is a book I can sample. Is this the time that I get, but I love the edges of this. I think they're so fun. I'm going to keep it because I feel like I'd be mad about getting rid of the Sons of Darkness, but like, you don't need it. You don't need it. Okay. No, I feel actually kind of good about keeping that. That's fine. These Veronica Ross, I don't think I'm ever going to read them, but I'm so intrigued by the concept of reading them. And I bawled like a baby at one of like the very intro novella. The very intro short story in this novella, I bawled like an absolute freaking BB. But a lot of these stories are kind of tied into the world of Carve the Mark. And I have that, so I should keep it. Alright, Tress. I really kind of low-key feel like I want to get rid of Tress, but I don't feel like I need to... Like, I feel like this has to be a Pango. It can't be... I'm not taking that to Second Charles, no way. Okay, these need to go to Bailey, so I'm going to pull these out. These need to go to probably Allie. This is Jesse's. Okay. On an initial pass through of this shelf, to be basically getting rid of like a lot of things, I'm a little like this is a lot of stuff to be getting. So basically keeping everything here, everything on. No, these two, I was going to get rid of these two. Okay, let me add that to the pile. Okay, this is ridiculous. I'm getting rid of everything. These I'm keeping. Those down there are my roommates. Some of these down here are my roommates. Most of them are my roommates. And then same thing with this is kind of a mixture, but most of them are hers. And then I'm keeping, obviously, these books here, those, and then everything on that shelf. I'm going down from 3 shelves to like 1. I feel very good about that. Yeah, okay. What I'm feeling less good about, I'm gonna have to take all of that to Second and Charles. Like this whole ginormo IKEA bag full of stuff, which it doesn't look all that big in one bag, but those books go all the way down to the bottom. There's probably, hold on, let me count how many are in here. I just counted 52 books. Wow. Okay, let's count how many are in here because I feel like hurting my feelings with all the money that I spent and all the money that I'm currently getting rid of, if you will. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 7, 8, 9, 70, 83 books. Where did that come from? Like, where did that come from? I don't know. I'm just a little flabbergasted by the amount. Oh, and I haven't even got, wait, hold on. Wait, is this the time that I get rid of the prison healer? Yeah, I think I'm going to be feral and get rid of the prison healer. I'm definitely going to keep House of Flame and Shadow like Chloe King. That's my original like Chloe King copy, and it's one of the only childhood books that I own that I definitely want to keep. Realm of Oblivion. One of my Bookstagram besties actually wrote that, and I am obsessed with it. Mary Ear Pearson. I love all of those, and I feel like at some point I could get rid of those, but I'm not there yet. And then we have my Alexander Bracken books up there, which I am going to keep because they're all signed and personalized. Thank you. So that is like 80 books on hold. I'm just feeling really excited to only physically bring the books that I am absolutely obsessed with and or things that I haven't read yet, things that are on my TBR, but that I legitimately think that I'm going to get to bring all those into a new space, to not only end this era, but then to enter into a new age, okay? So we're going to be taking these things to Second and Charles. We're going to throw the rest of these books in boxes, and then we're going to be taking them to their new temporary home. So I did make a community post about this, but I don't think I've officially said in a video at any point what's happening currently, which is probably a good thing to explain in a moving beginning vlog. Basically, I'm moving back to my hometown, and I really want to buy another new build because I absolutely loved the new build process. However, the town that I'm from, real estate's a lot more expensive, and then also the timeline to build a new home, but then also to get this home sold is a little interesting. But my parents had always joked, well, you could always just move back home. You could always just move back home. Well, wouldn't you just move back home? And by back home, I think they really meant hometown. And then they started to think about, maybe she could actually live here. And so we had joked about it for a very long time. And then all of a sudden we were like, wait, that actually might happen. So thanks to my very beautiful, lovely parents who are going to be welcoming their 27, nearly 28-year-old daughter back into their home for, I don't know, it could be anywhere from a year to a couple months to 2 years. You never know. The goal is that I not only am myself am going to be able to save money for a couple months, but then also to be able to help them. They've got a lot of house projects that they really want to do. So it'll be nice to just kind of have an extra person there to help around at their house, get some things decluttered, get some home rental projects that they want to get done. And then also just to spend some time with family because life is so short. You only get one of them. Your friends and your family, like they're only going to be around for so long. And I just felt like it was the time to go back to where my family is because no one else lives in Lubbock. It's literally just me. Everyone else is further north. And I just feel like it's going to be so nice to be able to be closer to family. So I feel like I should probably explain this in the beginning of this video as opposed to now. However, we're going to be making some very big changes over the next couple of months. I decided to go ahead and move there already while my house was being shown. And then my house currently, as it stands, I got an offer on it before it was even actually listed. And I pray that it actually closes. It's set to close in 2 weeks. So we basically have this weekend and next weekend before I officially am homeless, which I'm really actually very excited about. I think because I bought a house when I was 22, I feel like I settled down and I don't know, had the home ownership pressure a lot earlier than maybe most people do. So I'm kind of excited to just get rid of that for a minute and kind of like rot with mom and dad. Low key sounds like a good time. But as an Enneagram type 3 who is, I'm the kind of person that bought a house at 22. It's just, it took me a long time to kind of get to a point where I was going to be emotionally okay with that. There's some other factors that I think I'll probably further go into in my actual like moving vlog that you will see probably after this one. However, I've been living at my parents' house for a couple weeks now, without my furniture and stuff, but just like with my stuff, trying to move and clear out all the good stuff. I've been having the best time, but it's also been really weird because I've not lived in my hometown in 10 years. I've been living away for 10 years. So coming back and seeing all the changes, it really feels weird. But it also feels exciting. So there's kind of a weird balance of, wow, time has passed, but also time has passed and I'm ready. Like I'm ready to come back. So I'm actually feeling really good about being able to bring myself into this new age, not an era, but an age, and only bring the books with me that I really want and things that I really see myself interacting with in the future. Also, just because I know I'm going to have to move everything again in a year at minimum. Well, maybe not minimum. In between like a couple months to a year, probably. I just want to make sure that I'm if I'm not actually going to get to it in a year, it doesn't need to come with me. I would rather just not move it. And then if I really regret it, I can buy it again. So I'm going to load all these books up into the car. We're going to make it a second in Charles. Like all my little decorations are not where they're supposed to be. It's so weird. Where they're not on the bookshelf. What's happening? You're so awkward.
Shut up. I wasn't expecting it.
Unsolicited. Noise. Cutie patootie. Thank you, holder of books. Keeper of the keys. We're gonna get all of it.
Wonderful. Really? Problems?
I always have problems.
I know.
I was waiting for you to say something else mean, but that's okay. Okay. I ended up with significantly more credit than I thought I was going to have. So we're gonna do a little shopping. As we're getting rid of books, we're gonna get a little shopping. So number one, we've got Game On, and this is the second edition. And then I'm looking through their half off selection because I just feel like it. The Poet Empress, a lot of people have been talking about this. It's half off. We're gonna get it. Well, I was gonna go for this copy and then I went for this copy, but also I can't reach. Stage Set for Villains. I'm debating between Dragon Curse, which I kind of want, but I also am afraid to buy because it is YA. But I feel like I'd like it. Air of Illusion, I feel like. It's pretty. We're taking it.
Just putting it the wrong way.
Sorry. It's pretty as in, like, it's not, like, scuffed or damaged, but, like, also it happens to be pretty. I wasn't buying it because it was pretty, but, like, also it's pretty. Scooch over for our next perusal, I believe. Wait, do I want a copy of The Night Prince? I feel like I kind of do, but, like, also... I'm not ready to read it yet, so I think that can wait. I was specifically trying to not get any credit, and I'm like, wait, how do I spend $136? I mean, it's easy, but, like...
30 bucks.
That one's gonna be a full price one.
30.
So we're good. Are you gonna keep them out for me? Because that would be great.
I'm not good at math. Give it like $11.
Does the math? That was...
That's gonna be like 16.
So, like, yeah, we're so getting out. We're so back. We're so back into reading. One book in March. April's coming. April's coming. Okay, I really want to get a copy of
You already
To
get
Cage a Wild
76.
Bird. Okay. I want a copy of To Cage a Wild Bird. I was debating on doing some new book shopping whenever we officially move, but I was saving that one for that, but I think I might just get it. Oh no, I had that happen. We could do a Silver Cloak. They have a Silver Cloak. I've been wanting to read that. What if that, I think that would be what we do. However, it is up on a very tall shelf, and I fear I am not. And I don't see any stools around here. Silver Cloak. She said.
That's not
It's
bad.
really up there. It's really up there. You can find a spot and put those down. Thank you, Kitty Patootie. This is so fun. I love getting rid of books. She hates me.
Just about dropped the book.
She just about dropped my prized possessions. Okay, I keep running into you so you'd move that way, and then I didn't verbalize I was moving that way. Sorry. You told me you stole? Oh, slay. Oh, well, yes, that's... Okay. Two can play.
She abandoned me again. Not a great sister. So, anyways, you know. It's in good condition. Put it the right way. It's the wrong way, but okay.
That's okay, I'll fix it. Sorry, I picked the most flattering angle, my bad. Thanks for participating. What am I total at?
Math.
You didn't participate. Maybe by excitement. Man, I really like having my courier. My donkey, if you will.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm here.
Not for my humor or like fun jokes I tell or...
Nope. We're getting some really good.
And that is going to be the end of this video. First of all, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following along in this channel. It feels very weird for this to be the last like official video from this home. I'm feeling a lot of emotions, a lot of things, and I'm just very grateful that you guys are here to let me yap and to chat some of these things out. I hope you are excited to see potentially a new bookshelf build out situation. It's basically the exact same if I'm being so for real. But with all these books I've unhauled, I'm going to have some room to do some new things, but also in the new bedroom that I'm going to be living in the next couple months, I actually am going to have room for more bookshelves. So I'm going to get more bookshelves, obviously, because whenever I do, I guess technically, if you never really know, if buying a home is a whole thing, in theory, I will have an actual office that's dedicated to being an office. And so I'll have an entire room of bookshelves. So I'm just feeling very positive. I'm very grateful towards my time here in this home, but I'm also really looking forward to what is next. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for sticking around with me, for hanging out. If you are excited about moving content, as I'm excited, I'm overwhelmed, but like I'm excited. Definitely feel free to not only like this video, but subscribe and stick around for all the moving vlogs coming forward. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next one. Wow, that's the last time saying that in this house. I'm feeling things. I'm really feeling things.